1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, a real shop, and a total build cost that's genuinely achievable under $150,000. Not a shell price, not a starting at number, an actual realistic total. The 30 by 50 footprint has become one of the most requested layouts for exactly this reason. It's small enough to stay affordable, but if you design it well, it's large enough to fit a genuine family home and a functional workspace under one roof. In this video, I'm giving you the honest math behind that $150,000 number, the real design trade-offs of fitting 3 bedrooms into this size, and exactly where this floor plan works well versus where it gets tight. Stay through to the end, because the bedroom sizing section is going to change how you think about this footprint. Before we get into it, if you're seriously working with a tight budget and a real need for both living space and shop space, hit subscribe. This is Homes and Haven, and every week I break these builds down with real 2026 numbers, not inflated marketing claims. Let's get into the 30 by 50. A 30 by 50 footprint gives you 1,500 total square feet under one roof. Noticeably smaller than the 40 by 60, 2,400 square foot layout that dominates a lot of barndominium content. And that's precisely the point. This size exists for buyers who want the barndominium format specifically because it's more affordable than a comparable stick-built home, and who are being realistic about needing every one of those square feet to earn its place. The 30-foot width is tight enough to keep your clear span engineering simple and inexpensive, while still giving you enough depth at 50 feet to lay out a genuine home and a real, usable shop space rather than a token single-bay garage. It's a footprint that forces good design decisions, because there's very little room in the budget or the square footage for wasted space. There's a specific engineering reason this width lands at such an achievable price point, worth understanding rather than just accepting. Barndominiums generally fall into one of two structural categories: rigid steel clear span framing, often called PEMB construction, or post frame construction using wood or hybrid trusses, sometimes called pole barn style. At a 30-foot width specifically, clear span engineering is straightforward for either approach. You're not paying for interior load-bearing support posts either way, which gives you full freedom to lay out interior walls without extra structural cost. But wood post-frame construction at this width is often significantly cheaper than red iron steel framing, and that material choice is one of the primary reasons a sub $150,000 target is realistically achievable at this size. If your builder is quoting heavy red iron steel for a 30-foot span specifically to hit this budget, it's worth asking directly whether post-frame or hybrid steel trusses might get you the same result for less. Within that 1,500 square feet, a common and realistic split puts somewhere around 1,000 to 1,100 square feet toward living space, with the remaining 400 to 500 square feet functioning as shop, storage, or garage space. That's a meaningfully smaller shop than you'd get with a 40x60 even split, and it's worth being upfront about that trade-off right away. This footprint prioritizes an affordable, complete home first, with a genuinely useful but not expansive shop attached, rather than treating both spaces as equal priorities. Let's build this number up from real data rather than just repeating the headline claim. Kit shell pricing for a 30 by 50 footprint. The steel structure, roofing, and siding only, no interior finish, has been advertised as low as around $80,000 delivered for a basic 3-bedroom shell configuration, though that number moves with your specific door and window package, roof style, and delivery distance. Across the barndominium industry broadly, that shell typically represents somewhere around a quarter of total project cost, with the remaining 3/4 going into insulation, drywall, flooring, plumbing, electrical, and fixtures. Here's the number that actually grounds the $150,000 claim in this video's title, and it comes from a real, documented full build example rather than a projection. A completed 40 by 60 barndominium, 2,400 square feet, was itemized publicly at a total cost of $231,631, working out to right around $96 to $97 per square foot blended across the entire project, shell through finished interior. Apply that same real-world blended rate to a 1,500 square foot 30 by 50 footprint, and you land almost exactly at $145,000 to $150,000, which is exactly why this size and budget combination is genuinely achievable, not just a marketing number. That said, This is one real data point, not a guarantee. Your actual number depends heavily on your region, your finish level, and your specific shop versus living split. And national per square foot data broadly spans anywhere from $65 to $200+ depending on those same factors. The honest caveat that applies to every barndominium cost claim also applies here. Regional labor and material markets vary enormously. The blended rate behind this video's $150,000 figure reflects one real, itemized project, and builder quotes in higher cost regions can run meaningfully above that same footprint and finish level. Treat this number as a genuinely achievable target in many markets, and confirm it against real, written quotes in your specific area before treating it as your budget. The same critical construction detail that applies to any barndominium with an attached shop applies here, and it's worth repeating because it's easy to underestimate on a smaller, tighter budget. The wall separating your living space from your shop isn't a simple interior partition. Under the International Residential Code, it's a mandatory fire-rated separation wall. Specifically, IRC Table R302.6 requires a minimum of half-inch gypsum board between a dwelling and an attached garage or shop, stepping up to 5/8-inch Type X fire-rated drywall if there's habitable space directly above the garage, continuous from slab to roof deck either way. The connecting door itself has to meet a real spec too. A 1 to 3/8-inch solid wood door, a solid or honeycomb core steel door, or a 20-minute fire-rated door, equipped with a self-closing device, not a standard interior door repurposed for the opening. And if any HVAC ductwork passes through this wall, it needs to be a minimum of 26-gauge sheet steel and can't open directly into the shop without proper damper protection. This keeps shop fumes, carbon monoxide, and fire risk out of your living space. And it's a legal requirement, not an upgrade you can skip to save money on a tight budget. There's a related foundation detail worth knowing too, especially relevant on a smaller footprint where every dollar matters more. If your living space and shop sit on one continuous concrete slab, that slab needs a proper thermal break and expansion joint directly beneath the dividing wall. Without it, heat from your conditioned living space migrates through the concrete into the unconditioned shop, and moisture can migrate the other way, risking flooring damage over time. On a smaller build where budgets are already stretched thin, it's tempting to treat this as an unnecessary extra. It isn't, and skipping it tends to cost more to fix later than it would have cost to do right during the pour. Vapor protection under the slab deserves its own mention, separate from the thermal break, because it's a genuinely common regret specific to shop spaces. An unconditioned shop slab experiences real temperature swings, and concrete is notorious for drawing up ground moisture from underneath. Without a continuous, heavy-duty vapor retarder, commonly a 15 mil product, installed under the entire slab during the pour, moisture will work its way upward through the concrete over time, leaving your shop floor perpetually damp, rusting tools and machinery, and warping anything stored directly on the ground. This is a genuinely inexpensive line item to get right during the pour, and a genuinely expensive problem to live with if it's skipped. This is the section that actually determines whether this floor plan works for your family, and it deserves real honesty rather than just a pretty rendering. Fitting 3 bedrooms into roughly 1,000 to 1,100 square feet of living space, alongside a kitchen, a living area, and bathroom space, means every room is doing real work with limited square footage, and it means your bedrooms themselves will be genuinely compact, commonly somewhere in the 10 by 10 to 11 by 11 foot range for secondary bedrooms, which comfortably fits a bed and basic furniture, but isn't going to accommodate a large furniture layout or extensive floor space. This isn't a flaw in the design, it's simply the honest math of the square footage. 3 bedrooms at this total size means smaller individual rooms. Full stop. Bathroom count is the next honest trade-off. Many 30 by 50, 3-bedroom layouts at this budget land on a single full bathroom, sometimes with a half bath added if the layout allows it, rather than 2 full bathrooms. Fitting 2 full bathrooms into this square footage typically means sacrificing bedroom size or common living space to do it. If 2 full bathrooms is a non-negotiable for your household, that's worth flagging to your designer immediately, because it will reshape how the rest of the square footage gets allocated. The layouts that work best at this size consistently use a few specific strategies. A split bedroom design, with a primary bedroom on one side of the home and the 2 secondary bedrooms grouped together on the other, which improves privacy without adding square footage. minimizing hallway space, since every linear foot of hallway is square footage not being used as living space, and an open concept kitchen, dining, and living area rather than separated rooms, which makes the common living space feel larger than its actual footprint. Storage is the detail most first-time 30 by 50 buyers underestimate. At this size, built-in closet space is genuinely limited, and a lot of owners end up relying on their shop space for overflow storage that wouldn't fit in a hall closet. If that's part of your plan, it's worth designing for intentionally a few dedicated shelving bays in the shop, rather than discovering the need after move-in. The same under-budgeting patterns that show up on larger barndominium builds show up here too, just with less margin for error given the smaller overall budget. Land, site preparation, well, septic, and utility hookups sit outside every kit or shell quote you'll see, and on a build already targeting $150,000 total. These site costs can represent a genuinely significant percentage of your total budget rather than a rounding error. Get real. Specific numbers for your actual property before finalizing your build budget, not general estimates. Shop door selection matters more on a smaller shop footprint, where there's less room to accommodate a poorly planned door location. Placing a roll-up or bay door on the gable end rather than the sidewall tends to be more cost-effective and requires less structural reinforcement, a detail worth locking in during design, not after the shell is ordered. An HVAC zoning between your living space and your smaller shop still needs to be a deliberate decision, not an assumption. Fully conditioning only the living side and leaving the shop unconditioned or minimally conditioned keeps your utility costs reasonable on a smaller overall footprint. But that's a system design choice that needs to be priced out directly with your HVAC contractor. It's worth being direct about who this specific footprint and bedroom count serves well, and who it doesn't, because a 30 by 50 with 3 bedrooms is a genuinely different build than a 40 by 60 with an even shop living split, not just a smaller version of the same thing. This size works best for a smaller family or a couple who genuinely needs 3 bedrooms, for children, guests, or a home office, but doesn't need generous individual room sizes or extensive storage to feel comfortable. It also assumes your shop needs are real but modest. A single vehicle bay, a workbench and tool storage, a small business operation that doesn't require serious equipment or vehicle space, rather than a genuine working shop for heavy equipment or multiple vehicles. If your shop needs are substantial, if you're running real equipment, storing multiple vehicles, or operating a tray that needs genuine working space, this footprint's roughly 400 to 500 square foot shop allocation is going to feel undersized quickly, and you'd likely be better served by a larger footprint like a 40 by 60 with a bigger, more even split, even if that means a higher total budget. And if 3 genuinely comfortable, larger bedrooms matter more to your family than a shop at all, it's worth honestly asking whether a 30 by 50 without an attached shop, putting all 1,500 square feet toward living space alone, might serve you better than squeezing both a shop and 3 bedrooms into the same footprint. So who should genuinely consider this specific combination? If you need a real, complete 3-bedroom home on a genuinely tight budget, and you're comfortable with compact bedrooms, modest bathroom count, and a functional but not expansive shop, this is one of the most realistic, well-proven paths to an affordable, complete barndominium available right now. It's also a strong option as a starter home on working land, with room to build something larger later while keeping this structure as a guest house, rental, or continued shop space. If your family needs more breathing room in the bedrooms, more than one full bathroom, or a genuinely larger shop, it's worth pricing out a larger footprint before committing to this size, since retrofitting more space in after the fact is far more expensive than designing for it from the start. Either way, get a real, written, itemized quote specific to your region and your exact layout before treating any number in this video as your actual budget. The $150,000 figure here is grounded in a real, documented project, but your own bill will have its own real numbers attached to it. That's the honest reality of the 30 by 50 barndominium with 3 bedrooms and a shop. The real costs, the real bedroom sizing trade-offs, and exactly who this specific combination serves well. If this gave you a clearer, more realistic picture than the marketing numbers you've seen elsewhere, do me a favor and subscribe. This is Homes in Haven, I put these breakdowns together because I'd rather you walk into your build with an accurate budget and realistic expectations than a disappointing surprise partway through construction. New videos like this one drop every week. Let me know in the comments, is the 30 by 50 the right size for your family? Or do you need more room to work with? I read every comment, and it genuinely shapes what we cover next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.